Oh, hey there, everybody. It's Danny with Total Geek Live, and I'm just checking out a little Marvel Legacy #1. Um,
What? Me too.
I
what?
am.
Me
Oh,
too.
No way,
Whoa.
guys. Are you kidding
What
me?
are the odds?
coincidence.
Oh my gosh. Well, then we totally have to do a review.
We totally should.
Well,
I think so.
okay. Well, I'll write up an email and get the primer going and everything. And Kaiser, you can do the
Sure,
images.
Good.
And then,
I'll just show up because I've heard there was food there.
let me turn the images on, and we can just do one right now.
Oh, hey. Awesome. So, wait, are you recording?
Oh, yeah, I'm recording.
Well, let's
Thank-
do this.
Let's go. So,
Way back in the days of... Oh, wait, no. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no. So, for you people out there, this is the cover.
This is
Or-
a buock. I think
or
that's what they used to
this-
call these old
or that's
things,
the cover.
buocks.
Ooh, those are nice ones.
Yeah.
Ooh, all the people.
Marvel Legacy #1. It's a one-shot thing. Written by Jason Aaron
Mhm.
and some great artists, Asad Ribic and Stephen McNiven.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Anyone
let's-
else that you can raise the voice on?
Well, and there's also a lot of other, supporting artists too that are in this as well.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I looked at the list when I was coming up with the primer with this, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, the amount of artists that were in here,
Yeah.
and the names and stuff is just amazing.
Yeah.
Even for the variant covers and stuff. I don't know which cover did Alex Ross do.
Not this one.
Not mine. I would have liked to have seen that one, but
He did the one where he did the cover.
he did the one where
That's
he
very
did the cover.
helpful, John. Thank you ever so much.
Okay.
Hey, I'm here for
Glad you're
you.
here.
You are here for us. So the interesting thing is that if you go to page 1, it starts out 1,000,000 years ago.
Yes. Urk. Ook. Ook. Uk. Ook. Urk.
Gripping dialogue from the very start.
It is. I mean, it just has you right there in the opening. Ook.
Well, I was
Ooh.
getting
Urk.
it was kind of reminding me of 2001: The Space Odyssey.
Right, but instead of the obelisk, it's Mjolnir.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
Meow
that,
meow.
that
Meow meow is what I
Meow
like to
meow.
call it. But yes.
you would.
and you see Crow Magnum there just kind of going to town trying to lift it.
Right?
It's gonna work. He's not worthy.
No,
He is
he's
not.
worthy. But
Yeah,
who
this-
is?
Worthy. He's not worthy.
Who do we...
Odin!
And
Yeah,
yep.
dude.
So we're introduced to the 1,000,000 ago Avengers.
I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, this is what really drew me into the book. Is like it started off as like, okay, that's a long time ago. Is this a time travel story?
Mhm.
You know, it's like no, this is like Odin. This is like old school. This is like the original spirit of the Phoenix. I guess I'm not really familiar with the Phoenix saga, but is this the power that embodies Jean Grey?
This is another avatar of the Phoenix. And surprise, surprise, it's another redhead.
Right.
Yay!
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you don't really see any like blue-haired phoenixes, or because that would be more of a peacock or something, you know.
But blue is a hotter flame.
It
so
is
if
a
you saw
hotter
blue-
flame. It would make more logical sense.
Yeah.
It wouldn't
Marvel.
make you a celestial force, but it would make you the head of a major network. Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah. So we're introduced to
Captain
like-
Planet.
6 or 7 of these Stone Age Avengers here.
Right.
They all have like sort of counterparts to the current day people current day, characters. We actually get the Agamotto
Yes.
as Sorcerer Supreme. The Eye of Agamotto that Doctor Strange chants and so forth. We actually get to see him here. We get to see, what is that? The first Black Panther. We get to see a Cro-Magnon
Starbrand.
Starbrand, yeah.
Yep.
And my personal favorite, Ghost Rider.
Yes.
Yes.
Ghost Rider on a mastodon.
I love that interpretation. That's so amazing.
Yeah, so cool. And a female Iron Fist.
Yeah.
Who looks like a super warrior looking Iron Fist. Yeah. Really interesting group of characters.
And they're there to fight like a fallen celestial who's kind of come to Earth, and celestials are these huge, ginormous celestial creatures, cosmic beings, who sometimes come to Earth or planets to jumpstart mutancy or some sort of powers or so forth, or judge other Earths or planets or so forth. Okay. So we aren't really sure what this celestial his deal is, although we can assume it's pretty bad since they go to pretty great lengths to take him out. And we see that he's kind of being, after the story we go into our current day happenings, and we see that that celestial is trying to be reborn or resurrected or
whatever celestials do to come back.
Yeah. And so we're treated to, a whole bunch of the current day incarnations of those, Stone Age heroes, which is pretty cool and interesting. And I actually I know it's not a very popular opinion, but I actually kind of like Starbrand, even this current one.
Yeah.
Even though kind of, whiny and not really sure of himself, I still kind of enjoy it, him.
See, I'm new to that particular character, Starbrand. Not really know much about him, but even if I knew who he was or whatever, I was kind of confused as to why he felt like he needed to protect that area so bad, and pick a fight with the current Ghost Rider, who just for whatever reason happened to be there at that time.
Yeah, so it's a little bit of a departure from the last time we seen Starbrand. Mm-hmm. The last time he was trying to go to college, and now he's shown.
Okay. Wow. So now 15 hours was too much for him, and
I know it just might have been. He's a little socially awkward, so maybe. But it's kind of interesting. I feel like there's a mystery there that we're not yet privy to. Mm-hmm. So I'm reserving judgment on that part. Just try to see what's happening and see where it goes with that. But the fight between Ghost Rider and Starbrand was pretty killer.
Oh yeah. Really,
really art. The fighting for that. So that was exciting.
So you're talking like seeing where it goes, even though this is a one-off. Is this a reboot of kind of some of these characters series to spawn from this?
It's not really a reboot. Marvel will never say that. But it really isn't. It's really just kind of like laying the land of what's going to happen, and kind of giving you an idea about, okay, if you like this character, this is kind of where they're going. If you like these characters, this is where they're heading, and so forth. And they've done this for quite a while with what they called the point one issues, where they're just going to give you like 2 or 3 pages of prelude to this year's worth of comics, and then kind of give you a sneak peek as to who they want to make happen. These are the stories you should be reading, or these are the real cool things. But now they're kind of slapping legacy on it and doing a whole bunch of renumbering, which is interesting, combining titles and going back to the original numbering for a lot of them. To what degree of success, we'll find out.
I did see one interesting thing that I really liked that they brought back. The little box over in the upper left corner, where it just had the neat little image in the corner back from like the old issues. I'm like so happy to see that again, and I think that's what they're trying to appeal to. I think they're trying to go back to basics and kind of like set it back to the status quo, which I know I've personally been wanting for a long time. I enjoy the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but I feel it's influenced the comics continuity far too much.
Right.
Um, and it looks like, and they've had other people take on the mantles. It's because it's confusing. It's like, canonically people know these characters as one person, and then it's like you see him as such in the movies, and then you read the comics and they're someone completely different. But it looks like they're starting to wind down and kind of getting back to those original stories, which I'm okay with.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of contentious things happening. You had a great big push for diversity, and kind of handing off the characters to younger generations, maybe a different race, maybe a different gender, and it's had varying degrees of success. And I don't know if it's necessarily fanboys being fanboys and they're just not wanting to accept it. But now, you had Iron Man being replaced by Riri Williams, which is Ironheart. Right. You had Captain America replaced by Sam Wilson, who's also the Falcon. You had Thor replaced by Jane Foster as Thor. So all these big three characters were all replaced. Spider-Man sort of replaced by Miles Morales. Wolverine replaced by Laura Kinney. It's Wolverine. So we have these characters who are kind of retired for a little bit or taken off the playing field, so to speak, and to allow these other characters to inhabit their names.
Which, I'm perfectly cool with, but it's so odd to be doing that with their titular characters. With
like all of them, basically.
Well, with the cinematic universe,
right.
being to get some cross traffic from the movies to the comics, would be completely lost. Like, this is not the Thor I just saw. This is not the Captain America I just saw. So while I'm completely cool with them doing this, it just seems a weird timing of it. With the cinematic universe being in its heyday right now, and hoping to translate some of those fans to the comics, it's just a little weird for me.
You're not going to get the same experience.
They're not going to get the same experience. You're right, but they're also, and this is something that Marvel doesn't ever let. They never let things breathe. They never let things inhabit and breathe and do and grow organically. You had Iron Man was replaced by James Rhodes for quite a long time,
right,
as Iron Man. So that was back in the 80s, and they actually let that kind of happen and breathe and organically, like there wasn't a rush to put him back into it. And here there was like, okay, we got him for 12 issues. I think that's enough. We got to get him back. So there's it's this weird kind of, they never let things kind of develop and see how it goes.
Yeah, I read the last Secret Wars that came out, and it's like, we've destroyed everything that you ever do, and now here's the new world. And now it's like, oh, we're winding that down and kind of building back everything. And even with these new characters, it's like Marvel's always had some really interesting, diverse characters, especially, X-Men were like that second generation team. It was like kind of like the Star Trek because it's like everybody from all these different backgrounds, races, and everything else. And I'd like to see some of these new characters survive, but I think they're deserving of their own identity so they can be their own people that are no longer in that shadow of someone else.
Yeah.
So is Legacy then kind of the reset to some of this?
So.
Yeah, because you have Steve Rogers back as Captain America. You'll have Tony Stark back as Iron Man. You will eventually have Thor back as Thor. Yes, and some other things are back to where they were before. Specifically, I guess
we can talk about him. He's in the rotation of images, so we can talk about the W guy.
There is another return that's in this issue.
Angel?
No.
Oh,
Snick.
Kitchen knife guy.
The cook.
Bob.
Stabby McPokenston.
Yeah, so Wolverine returns in this issue. We're treated to his return. We don't know exactly how he's come back or why, but I guess the fans demanded it, or Marvel's bottom line demanded it.
Yeah,
Bub.
I mean, he's been gone. He's been gone for a couple of years, right?
Yeah, he's been gone for a couple of years, and I actually really liked Laura taking over as Wolverine.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was really interesting and kind of better than had Dakin done it. So
right.
I really enjoyed her take as Wolverine. So what it means, and this is the thing. Okay, yeah, we're killing Wolverine, and we're making Laura Wolverine, but we're also going to bring Old Man Logan back. So we have Old Man Logan Wolverine. Oh wait, and we have Dakin. And oh wait, we're bringing his other son from the Ultimate Universe, Jimmy Hudson, back. I'm like, so did he ever really go away? And now Wolverine?
Right. Now you've got enough characters for their own team comic.
I was about to say, are they working up towards a whole just
probably
the Wolverine
Team X? Whatever.
That was another interesting thing that they kind of brought up as well. That very same comment was brought up in the comics, so they're very self-aware in this. The other big surprise, obviously not as dramatic, but I got a little bit of a, when I saw them, I teared up a little. Thing and Human Torch are back,
right,
from the Fantastic Four. Now I guess more of a 2-in-1, which they are bring back as a series. So Thing and Human Torch get their own series again after such a long break. But Johnny said at one point, it's like you can make a whole team of Thors and Hulks now, and same thing with Wolverines or Spider-Man, or I mean they have like so many of these characters. It's like what are we going to do with all these? And then I think of all my parts of the comic, I think the return of Ben and Johnny was probably my favorite. It's like, do they even still need us? And he's like, you're a moron if you even think that. And then they shot the flare that brought up the Four, and it's like, even if they aren't going to bring back the Fantastic Four, something's coming back. And I again, we'll see, but there's a hint that there might be something to do with the Fantastic Four down the line. Which,
well, not to skip to the end, but do you think that end panel where the kids are racing to this new universe? Oh, this is the one I want to go check out. Is that the universe with the Fantastic Four more prevalent? And
50%.
I mean, to get to the backstory of this and what's happened and why the Fantastic Four has been broken up, besides the corporate reason, but at the end of Secret Wars, you had Reed and Sue and the kids, Franklin and Valeria, and the Future Foundation kids, which includes Alex Power of the Power Pack kids. They all decided to, after the universe was remade and everything was kind of fixed and brought back, they decided to go out, explore, as their family is a family of explorers,
right,
and create new universes and populate them and see the universe for a while, see the adventure for a while. Ben and Johnny were left on Earth. Well, Ben not so much because he actually joined the Guardians of the Galaxy, but Johnny Storm hooked up with Medusa for a while, and then he started hooking up with Rogue, and he was part of the Avengers there. So they stayed kind of active in separate ways. And actually, Peter Parker bought the Baxter Building in order to save it so that it wouldn't be destroyed in case one day the Fantastic Four came back. And that was kind of a fun little issue between him and Johnny. But there really was this fundamental lack of family, since the title went away. And Tom Brevoort, who's one of the editors at Marvel, said sometimes we had to put a title away for a while to make fans realize what they're missing. And then when the time is ready, the title will come back and it'll be, received well. And they did that with Thor a few years ago, and when it came back, it took off really well. And the same will be when we finally get the Fantastic Four back, which I hope will be sooner rather than later.
Right.
But it was a fun little panel to see both Franklin and Valeria again after so long.
Right.
And it was funny, as overexposed as Wolverine was for so long, I found in seeing him again, I really missed him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not having rounds. Like he managed to be on every team in the Marvel Universe. It's like, how is this even possible? And yet it's like, God, he's in everything, and he really was. And then they brought him back, and it looks like they brought Jean Grey back. So that's another pleasant surprise.
Back. Yeah.
She's going to get her own series, and then Gambit and Rogue are reigniting. Looks like they're going to reignite their romance from the '90s, which is, as an old X fan, that's super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I found it interesting about, we're introduced to what Loki's doing. He's kind of looking for, first he sends the Frost Giants after an item, which then falls into Wolverine's hands.
Infinity Stone, by the way.
Yes,
mm-hmm.
We can go ahead and spoil that. Can't we?
We're being spoilery now.
It's the blue. It's the blue Infinity Stone, and in the image rotation, I've got the great picture of him with it. So I love that. But Loki was one of the first antagonists for the Avengers way back when, and now it looks like he's going to be again with what this whole setup here is, because he fails on getting the Infinity Stone, so he goes and finds a way to get to the Celestial, and the Celestial utters words that I don't like when it's talking about I remember reading up, and I read up earlier today, just kind of informing myself about what what the meaning of a host is for a Celestial, and how they do the first and the second and those types of things, and it's saying final host. That really concerns me. What we have in store, and a little bit of confusion for me, because it seemed like earlier on Loki was having some dialogue with himself about, you Frost Giants wouldn't even be doing my bidding if you knew that I was trying to save the world. Is he really trying to save the world, or is he thinking like in his own way that he's going to try and save the world?
Yeah, well, this is Loki being Loki, a classic, manipulative god of lies and mischief. You don't really know what to expect, except that you're probably not going to be guessing right.
Right.
But he's going to have a pretty big arc with Doctor Strange coming up in that title. And one of the things that I kind of didn't really talk about is we have the Avengers in here. We have Jarvis, who is the longtime butler for the Avengers.
Right.
And in the scene there, he's talking about something feels off. Can't quite put his hand on it. You've been in this room for a million, 100 years or 100 times or whatever, and everything looks normal, the same, but there's something off, but you can't quite put your finger on it.
Right.
Or it might be your imagination. And outside the window, you see the classic Avengers statue, the founding Avengers plus Captain America.
Mm-hmm.
But this time, there's a random extra girl there,
right.
who's going to be, I believe her name is Voyager. We don't know much about her right yet, except for that she's going to be playing a big part in the Avengers No Surrender mega series that's going to be happening in the beginning of the year, which folds all the Avengers titles into one for 3 months. So this kind of sets up that kind of, well, who is she? How did she get here? Why is she in the founding Avengers when no one ever has heard of her? So it should be interesting to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
There were definitely some interesting things about the comic. One of the things, and this was a personal aside, I was kind of bummed out not to see what they had in store for Spider-Man. I mean, I know they only had so many pages, but I kind of hoped they'd give him like a little nod as to what he'd be up to in all this. But overall, I really liked the tone of this first Marvel Legacy. It reminded me a lot of the first issue of DC Rebirth, and there's some similarities to both. I mean, they're basically both press the reset button, and now this is Marvel's chance. It it follows in line with what DC has been doing with their comics. I think this is going to be really great because DC Comics have gotten a lot more fun and a lot more upbeat and hopeful and elements of love and family and everything. And if that translates into the Marvel comics again, I mean, I love comics. I've been a lifelong reader like we all have, but it's just I want comics to have that sense of fun and wonder, and I want heroes to believe in again. And if they really kind of bring out those noble, awesome elements and make these characters just so fantastic, and the reason we fell in love with them in the first place, I'm all for it. If this is what they're going to be setting up down the line, just
like the Lois and Clark series from Rebirth, the Super Sons, and I mean it's all fun and great, and you get the family and these really cool stories and some new takes, on the whole universe. So yeah, if this is Marvel kind of following DC's lead,
yeah.
I'm happy with it.
Yeah, I'm good with it.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, it's the very beginning of this rollout of it, so we'll see how it goes with the existing titles and with what comes next. But yeah, I think it'll pay off. I think it will definitely do what it's setting out to do. If Marvel lets that happen and breathe and go to a logical conclusion,
right.
We'll see. But I'm definitely on board for this, and pretty much on board for almost all the series that are coming out of this or that are jumping off of these.
Is there a Marvel BC series jumping from this where we get to follow Odin and the original Iron Fist?
There will be a follow-up to it, but I'm not sure where that's going to be. I don't know where what title that's going to jump into. But there is going to be follow-ups from this.
Right on, because, I was sitting there when I was reading this, and even though you just kind of get a small taste of this old team, I just wanted to keep reading about them.
Yeah.
And it made me think, that Marvel did the whole 2099 line with their titles there for a while. I wouldn't hate a BC line for, 6 months of, a few of those characters.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. I mean, one of my favorite Marvel things is when they got Neil Gaiman involved and did the 1602 miniseries.
Yeah,
really, really, really fun, just miniseries there, and I could totally see them doing something with this million-year ago Avenger team. I'd buy all. If they did just the little 8 issues. I'd buy every single one of those. Yeah, for sure.
But it's cool seeing X-Men back. It's cool seeing Marvel 2-in-1 come back. It's cool that they brought back Foom, the magazine.
Yeah.
I mean that.
Foom.
What is Foom? What does that say? What does it mean again?
Friends of Old Marvel.
There you go.
Yeah, and in here, they show like some of the like you'll see the Thor cover there and the Captain Marvel, which is the death of Captain Marvel. They show it says the death of mighty Thor, and it's kind of like these things where it's both covers in one, and you just kind of move it and you see the other one. Really, really neat. I saw them in the comic book store the other day.
Yeah, those are pretty cool.
It's
cool. Lenticulars.
Yeah, and that they're doing some iconic, cover art that
iconic ones,
resonates. The Fantastic Four #1 with the mole creature coming up and all that, and how Monsters Unleashed kind of mimics that. Incredible Hulk and Captain Marvel. Some really, really, really cool stuff. I like that. I like the callbacks to very nostalgic
in the past and trying to move forward.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
let's hope.
Yeah, I just like fun and iconic, and hopefully they'll stick with this version of the universe again without having to reboot it. I think they're on a better path this time.
Right.
Yeah. At least for another 2 years.
or the next multi-issue event that just destroys everything that they've worked on.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I think we all enjoyed this issue. I think we had a lot of fun with it, and of course we had a lot of fun talking about it. And you people out there, go to your local comic book store and pick a copy up. I know they've got them. They got plenty of them. I think they're even coming out with a second edition. They've been printing off more. And so
it's already in its second printing?
I think so. Yeah,
they've been selling like crazy.
Yeah. So
and if you find a story that's interesting to you, follow up on it and follow that title and pick it up.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I plan on doing. I mean, I haven't read actually picked up a specific Marvel title and followed through with it in a long time, and I'm actually looking forward to doing that. I'll have to figure out which one I really kind of want to. Definitely Fantastic Four if they do come back with that one.
I would just read a Ben and Johnny's, Terrific 2.
Right, the Terrific 2 one, yeah.
Well, that's what it's coming back as. Marvel 2 and 1.
2 and 1.
So,
nice. Cool.
And Rogue and Gambit are my two I think I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
I've got to share this. This is my favorite panel in this whole book. Is the look on his face right there?
Yeah, Starbrand's face. Yeah.
Starbrand's face. I mean, that is meme worthy.
Yeah, it is true.
One of those when all you asked was for a McDonald's hamburger. She comes home with, Jack in a Box.
I think we're gonna have to do that meme ourselves, guys.
I'm gonna have to scan this in.
Yeah, let's work on it. I'll find that image for you. Yeah, and we can work on it tonight. But
tell us what you think, man. Tell us what you think about Marvel Legacy 1.
Yeah, exactly. Give us comments, message us, whatever. Just hit us up on social media or in the comments down below, and definitely check it out. But that's us from Total Geek, and it's all geek to us, guys. So,
bye.
Bye.
I got really blurry there.
Bye. Okay, that's the kid's name, Franklin
and Valeria.
I thought his name was Farthead.
Your name is Farthead.
Ooh.
Nobody called you that? Not to your face.
That's right.
School bus.
So, Danny.
Okay.
How are we positioned?
Just like normal.
So we look good on your screen? We don't need to... Okay.
No. Everybody looks pretty good. Yeah. Yep. No, everybody looks pretty swanky and things and stuff. So...
Let's do this.
Yeah, okay.